I'm glad we've got so many of the actors here because I think one of the things that makes this movie kind of keeps it grounded no matter how crazy it gets is the performances are all really strong and authentic. And I'm curious, Danny and Michael, talk a little bit about the casting process and how it was different from what you were used to and what you were looking for from these actors.
Oh yeah, just to try and find the most, genuine, down-to-earth people that felt real. Like it was always Christmas whenever we'd get our casting director sending us the audition tapes, and as soon as we saw any of the cast members, there was no debate in our mind. Or it's between these two actors, it was like they were the characters straight away. We knew they'd stick like the Band-Aid on Danny's face. Yes.
Literally drag him.
Sophie punched me earlier. Yeah. She was not happy with the cast.
She hated it.
Yeah, she decked me. I got decked. I cut myself shaving.
Well, what was the audition process like? Was this all like virtual stuff, and were you looking at self tapes and things like that? Were you actually able to interact with people via Zoom? How was that all working?
It was 2 years. Yeah, 2 years. 2 years of casting. And like Joe, because you auditioned for the beginning of the 2 years and then towards the end, it was like two different people. Yeah. He was a little kid and then he was a teenager. Yeah. Voice broken,
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, I didn't even recognize him when I saw the first audition tape, but it was a very long time. But like we found Zoe, I think straight out the gate, which we were in love with. We didn't want to move forward unless Zoe was available. And then Sophie auditioned for Haley.
Haley.
Yeah,
I did. Yeah. No.
Yeah, really bad. So
No, it was a good audition.
Really bad.
No, I'm telling you, it was a good audition. It was a good audition.
No.
Yeah.
But once we had Sophie and we were able to put her against the other cast members and see how things gelled and how the chemistry was with everyone else. Yeah. And we did a lot of taping with. When we found someone we really liked, putting them with the other cast members and seeing if things would work. And Sophie, we put you through a lot of that. There was a lot of like,
I think
really? Yeah. Did like a lot of chem reads.
And quite like crying in auditions and then having to be funny in the next one. Like it was like, we put her through the pump. And then we were absolutely honored when Miranda said yes. We could not believe it. It was like, what? Yeah, it was the biggest thing.
We had such a good meeting, that Zoom meeting. I just thought you were so great and so energetic, and I'd loved the script so much. And it was really easy. And I was so glad that it actually worked out.
Yeah. So we were literally, everyone was like, what?
Yeah, we were really nervous, speaking with Miranda, but she's like a really nice auntie and friend.
It was so easy to talk to you. We were so nervous.
We were really nervous.
Scared to direct her as well. We're like, what can we say to Miranda? Everyone else we're mucking around with, we're like, hey, Miranda.
You did try to do a prank on me.
Yeah.
But I found it. I got it.
Oh, that Otis interfered in the middle of the take asking for selfies. And she's like, this is a trick. And
I remember this guy probably wanted a 10-second answer again.
Well, Miranda, I'm curious, how do you see your role working with first-time directors? I mean, on the one hand, you put a lot of trust in these guys. And they were describing you as kind of like an auntie or something. Are you, do you try to bring any of your experience to bear to kind of, help them along, or did they not need it?
They didn't need it. I was actually only there for a week. And as soon as I met Danny on Zoom, I just felt like he had such a strong vision of what he wanted to do, and he had the right energy to make the film. And he worked with all these guys. They had a great rehearsal process, but I didn't get to be there for that. But then when I arrived, he had the whole, Danny and Michael had the whole thing down in terms of how they were working and how he likes to keep it very loose. And they like to, play little pranks and games and throw in curveball lines. And I didn't feel like I had to do anything but just, bring my part to it. I thought it was a really strong script, and I was looking to them to help me make it as real as possible.
Yeah. And you were hilarious. You were so funny. We all loved it.
You entered the chaos very smoothly.
Oh, you
slipped out very elegantly.
Well, I'm curious about the rehearsal process for the other actors. What was that rehearsal process like, and how did it help?
With the rehearsal. In like the pre-production, Danny and Michael would get us to work with a one-on-one or like in groups of 3 or 4. With the whole entire cast, we'd have just like little rehearsal sessions. And like for like the second possession, we went to the actual location and like rehearsed there, which was really cool because then we actually got to block out what we were doing, and then it made it easier for them when the day actually came. And then, you know, these two are just really creative and they like have so many ideas, which are just great because then like you can just take them and then work on them. And then it was just really great rehearsing with these guys because they just know what they're doing. Yeah, so they were really helpful.
Thanks, Joe. Well, we did also, a thing that we did with all the actors is everyone acted through everyone else's possession.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, just because there were some like really embarrassing possessions for some of the characters, and like so we got all the actors to perform some of the more embarrassing possessions so that everyone felt comfortable. And
And it wasn't just the actors; it was the producers.
the producers jumped in as well, the
that's a good
cinematographer.
idea.
Yeah.
We're ready to leak. Yeah, we're ready to
filmed
leak
it
some
all
stuff.
and- Yeah. Sam, our producer's like, you're not releasing my possession.
Yeah. If she doesn't sign on to our next movie, though,
Yeah, we're gonna leak her possession.
we might get hacked.
That's on YouTube.
Well, as a horror fan, I really appreciated the use of like a lot of the great practical prosthetic effects and stuff in this movie. I was wondering if you and the actors could talk about working with those prosthetic effects.
Oh, how poor actors.
Yeah, every scene from like the second half of the movie onwards, Joe was in some pretty extreme prosthetics, but he was an absolute trooper about it. Like, yeah, that was how long did it take to do some of your prosthetics?
Well, it would take like during the hospital week, it was, I feel like it was maybe like total of like 10 days out of the shoot maybe, or 11, I'm not sure, but it would just depended on how like injured I was when we were filming. So like it would maybe take between like maybe 3 to like 5 hours or 6, and it really just depended on what was happening. And then like on the first day of filming, because I had the bite marks, like I would leave them on overnight just so like it would be easier to just have them on. They just had to clean them up a little. But like the prosthetics people, like they were really cool. Like they'd let me like listen to podcasts on my AirPods so like I could like be entertained, and then they were really lovely and stuff. And yeah, it was long, but it was just really cool, you know. And when am I ever gonna have this experience again? So
Probably pretty soon.
Yeah. And then one thing that was really annoying about the makeup was no matter how much we tried to damage you, Sophie still looked absolutely gorgeous. She still looked gorgeous. It was like, she was like, it looked like a model shoot even though she was covered in blood. Like, damn it, Sophie.
We'd all get one cut on our face and look fucked. And you'd have like a full face and everyone was like, wow, Vogue.
I could not believe how awesome you are. Oh my God. Sophie, goddammit.
It's something we've always respected as well, like, and loved practical effects. Like, and that was very important to us. And we said that early on, giving the makeup team and working closely with the prosthetics team, you know, allowing them to the time to create these amazing looks. And it really comes across like it looks horrifying. And we love that growing up watching movies where those makeup and prosthetics practical effects like last even today, even ones that made 40, 50 years ago.
Yeah.
So that's the stuff that we don't want to do things CG, everything. It's like as much as we can do in camera, and that's what we want to.
Yeah, and we also, Miranda can attest for it. In our first face-to-face meeting, I was just showing her the makeup Bible for the entire thing.
Yeah, you were right across all that.
Look at the work we're doing.
Also made the shoot really scary. Like I didn't really sleep much that shoot. Like I found actually shooting it scarier than watching it because it was all there in front of you. There was one day, the first demon, I went up to him because he really scared the shit out of me, that guy.
Oh, the blind guy?
The blind guy.
And he literally couldn't see because of the contacts.
And he had the wet hair. Anyway, he freaked me out and I had to go up to him to talk to him just to like unspook myself. And I went up to him and I was like, "Are you a nice man?" And he just walked away. I was like, fuck. Anyway, and then the makeup team were like, "He's deaf." And I was like, thank God. Thank God.
That guy was a trooper because he came.
He was a G,
to
man.
stay
Yeah.
3
Freaky
days
G.
he had to quarantine for, came on set for 15 minutes, and then he had to go home and
We
quarantine.
shot him for
3
12
more days.
seconds. We're like, I cut. Yep, you're done. And he's like, oh, okay. So he was there for like a total of like a week.
Yeah, he was like, and he was completely down for it because we loved his look.
He's so
And he
scary.
was there, and he's like,
awesome,
I want to do this. So it was great. It was, amazing.